A warm greetings to you wherever you are watching us out there in the world. My name is Andy Opondinchi and you're welcome to the campus show here with me, Andy, on the Andy Opon Online TV, where we talk to university students, find out what they are doing, if they are doing something inspiring, so that you can also learn from them and get ourselves motivated and all that. On today's episode, it is a very intriguing and interesting topic that we're going to discuss, which I must say you will learn a lot here. The topic for today's discussion is, what is it like being in the Swedish university? We are moving beyond the borders of Ghana to find out what it is like to be a student in the Swedish university. And before I introduce or unveil my guest, let's say a little bit thing about her. She's Lovisa Bagdal. I'm sure she'll correct me when she comes on. And then she's a business and psychology student from Stockholm School of Business. Miss Lovisa.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to the campus show.
Thank you so much.
Wow, you're warmly welcome. So, as I introduce you to my audience, I know you as Lovisa. Could you tell us a bit about you and what you do so that they can all know you a bit?
Absolutely. So my name is Lovisa Bergdahl and I am a last year student at Stockholm School of Economics. I also study psychology on the side from a different university. And this summer, I'm actually here in Ghana to pursue a project that is made possible through the scholarship that my friend and I received. So we're here in Ghana to work with entrepreneurship training for a couple of weeks, and it's been really, really interesting and really rewarding.
Wow, nice submission. In your submission, you made mention of you having a scholarship with your friend in Ghana. I'll come to that a little bit later. But I want to find out from you, apart from schooling, is there something you do?
So,
are you maybe in your own business? It could be anything. Is there something you do alongside schooling?
Yes. So I've been very, very involved in the student life at Stockholm School of Economics. I was actually the main representative in all decision-making academic forums for all the students. So I was kind of the link between the faculty and the students, with frequent meetings with all possible boards, but also the president himself. So that gave me a position as head of education within the student association, but also a position on the student association's board. So I've been spending a lot of my time engaging with the student life. And aside from that, I'm pretty much the average Swede. Just like to hang out with friends, go for a workout, read books, party, travel. Yeah, love to travel a lot.
That's nice. You made mention of you holding a position. You said head of education something in school. That's what you do. Could you tell us a little bit about what it entails and what you actually do for the student body in the school?
Yes, so whenever students had any feedback or any complaints or any questions about the courses that they were taking or their programs in general, they would come to my committee, who would ultimately forward these topics and these questions to me. I would then bring them up with the faculty, with the management at the school, with the program committees, to discuss how we could actually improve the education there. So I was really a student representative working with the school in their development of the programs.
Okay, so in introducing you to my audience, I made mention you are studying business and psychology in your university. I want to find out from you, how passionate are you about the course you are reading in school?
So when it comes to my business degree, this is not really what I want to pursue in the future. I think it's very interesting because it's a very broad education, a very broad program. So I get insights into several different areas, but eventually I want to move on to pursue psychology full time.
Okay. Is there a peculiar reason why you want to pursue psychology full time? Is there a peculiar reason for that?
So I find I'm very interested in psychology as a topic. I think it's just fascinating to learn how we all work and how we go about our daily lives. And what's particularly interesting to me is this subfield of social psychology, which kind of dictates how we act in relation to each other. And there's another subfield of that subfield, which is cross-cultural psychology, which I find particularly interesting as it really treats how different cultures function and also in relation to each other, and it really forces us to question our ethnocentric and very Western perspective that researchers in psychology otherwise usually have, because much of the research has been done in westernized communities and westernized context. So that's really something that I would like to challenge by going into cross-cultural psychology eventually.
Wow, then I can really see you have an enormous passion for psychology. I want to find out from you, how is it like living or schooling in Sweden? How is it like schooling in Sweden?
So student life in Sweden is very active. There's
Okay.
a lot of like partying and just activities for you to do. Other than that, I would say that one particular thing that's very successful with the educational system in Sweden is that we are placing a lot of focus on critical thinking and deeper learning, and not just the memorization of knowledge,
Okay.
which is really a skill that I value a lot.
Okay, so what one thing would you say you value so much about your school?
About my school in particular, aside from the positive things that I mentioned, is that all the students there are extremely ambitious. They really know where they want to go in their life. They're very
Okay.
goal oriented. So it's a very inspiring environment to be in, thanks to the students.
Okay. If you had a chance to get a scholarship outside Sweden to school somewhere, would you take up that scholarship?
I would. I've actually studied in the US for a year, and I would love to go back and study more in the US or somewhere else. And I'm actually aiming to pursue my graduate studies abroad. So it will probably be just my bachelor's being done in Sweden, or like my double bachelor's degree being done in Sweden, and then I'll move on to pursue further studies abroad.
Okay. So, what advantages does Sweden offer in terms of education opportunities for its students?
I mean, I think the most prominent advantage that Sweden offers in terms of education is that education is free for all.
Free. When you say free for all, or what do you actually mean?
So you don't pay for education.
In Sweden,
You don't pay anything to go to school.
really, this is a surprise to me. You don't pay anything.
We don't pay anything to go to school.
Is it at a particular stage, or maybe
No,
through
we
elementary?
don't pay at all. Like we don't pay for elementary school. We don't pay for like say high school. We don't pay for college. It's free.
Wow. So you get to school free in Sweden.
Yes.
Wow, that's very interesting. Then I think I have to come to Sweden to come and school for free, because here in Ghana we pay for, and that's the tradition here, although. And you not paying fees in Sweden came as a surprise to me. Wow, that's very great. And
I think though that, I mean, if you were to come to Sweden,
Okay.
for instance, then you would have to pay because it's just free for
its
citizens
citizens.
within the European Union.
Okay.
And the reason is that, you know, the reason for why it can be free is that, you know, we're leaning towards it being a socialist country with all that it entails. And we are paying very high taxes. So in a way, you can say that we've been paying for the opportunity to go to school our
For
entire
free,
lives.
okay.
But you know, the actual act of going to school, regardless of who you are, how much you pay in taxes and so on, is for free.
For free.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting to note here. So, guys, if you are still watching, you are watching the campus show here with me and Yoponichi, and I'm having an interesting conversation with Miss Lovisa from Sweden. She's here in Ghana with his friend, that's Marcos, based on a scholarship, and they are on a tight project whereby they are training up startup business entrepreneurs, young people in Ghana, to really find out what their capabilities are and to help them in much possible way and all that. Have you been to Sweden? Have you been to any other country apart from your country? How do you feel like you being in the same country, schooling there? You can join us with your thoughts and comments in the comment section below for us to know what you think about this topic. So moving on our interview, we are coming down to the end of the interview. I want to find out from you, what don't you like about your school?
I think so. It's a very small and specialized school, so a lot of people tend to go into the same areas, which is, you know, the majority go into either banking or financing. Management consulting or banking and financing.
Yeah.
That's very common, and I mean I understand that because it's a specialized school. They chose that school. They're very goal oriented and so on. So that impresses me a lot as well. But it comes with quite little diversity in terms of professional pursuits and so on. And for me, who's not as interested in pursuing that kind of path, it becomes sometimes difficult to get examples of people who want to do like other things instead. But then again, it's my choice to attend that school.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Okay. So I want to find out from you, how's your schedule in school like? Do you have a tight schedule in school?
It depends. We usually take 2 courses or 2 classes at a time. So we usually have, say, 5 to 7 sessions per week, 4 to 7 sessions per week.
And how many sessions do you have in a day?
I mean, if